apparently, an Afrikaans-medium university being built in Pretoria is something we need to be concerned about, and not because it's failing, not because it's producing terrible graduates, because of what it represents. The university in question is Akademia, an Afrikaans medium institution whose new Pretoria campus is a multi-billion-rand development. The total project is expected to exceed 3 billion rand, with the first phase costing around 1.8 billion rand. The campus is being developed through private financing rather than government funding. And this is where former Minister Naledi Pandor's comments get interesting. She said the fact that an Afrikaans-medium university is being built and receiving billions is concerning. Then she placed that concern into a much larger historical argument. She said, what we are battling is centuries of racism and colonialism, and that people who have historically held control don't let go easily. She went on to argue that they find other ways, including entrepreneurs, who become their tools and work against you. Now, that's the argument I want to challenge, because we're talking about a privately funded university being built by people who want to provide higher education in Afrikaans. And yes, South Africa has an ugly history involving Afrikaans, racial segregation, and apartheid. But Afrikaans, it's a language, not a race. So when does acknowledging history become using history as a reason to distrust an entire institution before it's even had the opportunity to prove itself? If academia discriminates against people because of their race, then yeah, definitely expose it. If its academic standards are shit, criticize them. If there's evidence of racial exclusion, deal with it. But the existence of an Afrikaans medium university isn't by itself evidence of any of those things. And here's where I apply the same standard across the board. Imagine a wealthy Zulu-speaking community privately raising billions to build a major Zulu university. Would we immediately frame that as a threat? Or would we call it cultural preservation, linguistic empowerment, and an investment in indigenous education? I'd wager we'd hear a great deal of praise for it, and frankly, I would praise it too. If a Zulu community wants to build a university, then build it. If an Afrikaans-speaking community wants to build one, build the damn thing. Build your own shit. There's nothing inherently wrong with communities creating institutions around their language and culture, provided those institutions operate within the law and don't discriminate based on race. That isn't apartheid. It's not colonialism. That's people investing their own resources into something they believe matters. And I think this is where our politics sometimes gets trapped in a victim mentality. Instead of asking, what can we build? We end up asking, are they allowed to build that? And that's a terrible way to build a country. Because if someone else succeeds and your first instinct is to resent that success rather than create your own alternative, you've accomplished absolutely nothing at all. South Africa needs more institutions, more universities, more businesses, more investment, more communities building things that actually work. So no, I'm not interested in whether academia makes someone uncomfortable because of the history associated with Afrikaans. Just the university by what it does. If it succeeds, let it succeed. If it fails, let it fail. If it discriminates, hold it accountable. But don't condemn the building before you've even seen what happens inside it. Because if the answer to somebody else's ambition is always, but what about the past? Then eventually we have to ask, when the hell are we going to start building the future?